Okay, jury selection begins tomorrow in the trial of Ryan Ruth, the man accused of attempting to assassinate President Trump almost a year ago in South Florida. He's facing 5 federal charges, including attempted assassination of a major presidential candidate, and could get up to life in prison if convicted. Let's bring in Fox News contributor Jonathan Turley. Great to see you this morning, Professor. In some of these filings that this guy, so the guy's representing himself at the moment, and some of the filings, it's almost like he's trying to turn it into a circus. He's challenged President Trump to a golf match. Is he trying to pretend that he's insane or something?
Well, if he is, he's making a pretty good case of it. The problem is that the standard for insanity is actually higher than most people assume or what they get from television programs. He is not insane under the federal standard. You can be obsessive. You can even be somewhat delusional and not trigger that standard. This case is beginning to look a lot like the Colin Ferguson case, which occurred a little over 20 years ago. That was the Long Island shooter who did many of the things that we're seeing today, firing his lawyers, having these bizarre moments in court. Right. And I think we can expect that. Judge Cannon has really shown the patience of Job in trying to explain to him what the standards are and how you make motions and what you cannot argue. But those lessons do not seem to be taking.
So I want to move on to another topic, but real quickly, I mean, at some point, you have the patience of a judge, but at some point the judge loses control of the trial. Is there a risk of that here?
Well, there is a risk. That's what happened in the Ferguson case in New York. Right. But judges have to try to make it work. You have a right to self-representation. And as long as the defendant is not disrupting or threatening in the courtroom, they're given a lot of latitude. They have counsel there if they want to use them, right. But often they don't.
Yeah. So on to another topic I wanted to ask you about. You have a new op-ed out, the new blasphemy, daring to laugh at the wrong people, specifically talking about Graham Linehan, who has been jailed in the UK for making jokes about trans people. How dangerous is this?
It's very dangerous, and unfortunately, it is not something new. We've seen comedians arrested or charged in France, Germany, Canada. It's all part of this global anti-free speech movement that I write about in my book, The Indispensable Right. I mean, free speech isn't a free fall in Europe. And this is an example of that. He had 3 posts, was arrested at Heathrow, ended up in the hospital. But the UK has draconian speech codes, and they criminalize speech that are viewed as offensive to groups or individuals. So what happens is you deputize all of these activists who call the police, and these units have nothing apparently to do besides arrest folks for errant speech. And it's a recipe for disaster. You end up having comedians like this arrested at Heathrow because they posted 3 things that were critical of the majority view.
Yeah, it's pretty scary to think about, and to think about the idea that, one of us could put something on Twitter, visit UK, and are we going to get arrested? It's a pretty scary situation.
Ironically, I'm on my way to Heathrow in 2 days to talk about free speech in Europe. And
you be careful.
Yes, I'm going to try to move through Heathrow as fast as I can.
There you go. Let us know how it works out. Professor Turley, thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlie.